I was in Mexico last week. I took my first vacation in a couple of years, even though I was working while I was there. But I was sitting on the beach and I was, drinking a beer and watching the sunset, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, we all work so hard to get to somewhere where we have to do no work.
Yeah.
And your original concept for the 4-hour work week was that.
Yeah.
Yet you work probably more than most people that I know. Do you not drink your own medicine? What's going on there?
Yeah, so this is I think actually the root of a lot of the attacks, right? Is 4-hour work week, Tim Ferriss, it's the hardest working man in showbiz. This is bullshit. And the point they miss, I think, if they were to actually read the book I've never had someone who's read the book come up to me and have a dispute about this, is that the objective is, among others, to maximize your per hour output, so you then have the choice of dialing back. You have the choice, the option. So for instance, I'm going to take all of February off. I can do that. I can say no, hit stop or pause, and do that. But during book launch, on something that I've worked on for the last 2 years, you have to spend your time on something. The objective of the 4-hour work week isn't to drop LSD and stare at a wall every day of your life. It's to control time so that you can choose the highest leverage activities. So in this particular case, on this book launch, I'm 24/7. I mean, I've been literally, and I have the sort of experimentation and drugs and diet and whatnot to do this. I've been averaging probably 2 to 3 hours of sleep a night, and that's very much deliberate, because the 4-hour chef is the highest leverage thing I could possibly do right now. And I think that one of the keys is to either be fully on or fully off.
When you think about all of these books that you've done, you're essentially almost like a life hacker, right? You're hacking life in many different ways, whether it's from work, the way we cook, the way we exercise, all of these different things. Where does that come from? Is it were you beaten up as a child and this is the way of responding? Is it an insecurity, or is it just that you think that things should work differently?
It's a combination. I was beat up as a child. I was a runt until 6th grade or so. I mean, I was born premature. I had my ass kicked constantly up until about 6th grade. I think it comes from a few things. Number one, my parents were great teachers, and they never wanted me to say, count to French and 10 or whatever it was. They exposed me to a lot and looked for something that could be the gateway interest, and then they would plow their support into it. So I was very curious from a young age, thanks to them. Secondly, I think the self-experimentation started with wrestling, and I wrestled for a very long time and was an All-American in high school. And I could not control my body temperature. My thermoregulation was off because of my left lung and the preemie stuff. So I had to focus on other things, like losing weight and specific techniques. And so I was routinely cutting 20 plus pounds of water weight twice a week to compete. And when you do that, in order not to kill yourself or to just get pinned in the first 10 seconds, you have to track things like potassium. You have to understand things like sodium. So I think that's where a lot of the self-tracking started. And then on the mental side, which is pretty much all of the 4-hour chef, I mean, it could have just been called the 4-hour mind in a lot of ways, was the year abroad that I spent in Japan from 15 to 16, where I just failed repeatedly, could not learn Japanese up until about the 5 or 6 month point, and then ended up improvising and using Japanese comic books and judo textbooks to learn Japanese, among other things. And it worked. And once that happened, and at the same time, I'm asking myself, the fact that we drive on the right side of the road, it's totally arbitrary. The fact that Japanese people bathe before they get into the bathtub, it's all all these rules are just made up.
Yep.
They're just made up.
Yep.
I think all of those things combined have just led me to be very curious about testing those assumptions. And I did that long before the books, and I'm going to continue to do it.